This is Late Nolly Talks TV. I'm Late Nolly, and I talk reality TV dating shows such as The Never Ever Mets, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Ready to Love, The Ultimatum, and Love Island, just to name a few. So if you do enjoy watching that type of content, then please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on when I upload a new video. This is a new channel, so I do appreciate the love and support. Please go ahead and like the video now so you don't forget. Comment down below. I'll comment back and we'll start a chat. Now let's get into The Never Ever Met. I need to cover both episodes 6 and episode 7. So I'm really going to go through just the highlights of the most important things that happened. So episode 6, it starts where episode 5 left off in regards to Aaron H. and Diamond's sister friend yelling at each other and cussing each other out, and production has to step in order to separate them, and it just gets wild and crazy. And later on, we see Diamond talking to Aaron H. like, if you're talking to my sister friend like that, then how are you going to talk to me? Like, acting like he was going to fight her. And she's asking him, like, were you really going to try to fight her? And he's like, no, I would never do that to you. I love you. But, that kind of behavior, we saw him, how he snapped on Jody in the previous episode. And it was just like, dude, it's not fair. All your anger did not need to be directed toward Jody, because technically Diamond was mad that the entire group left her silent. It wasn't like it was only Jody. It should have been the whole group. Y'all need to speak up. If there's an issue, then don't leave, Diamond hanging. But of course, he only went off on, the woman, Jody. And that wasn't fair. And now we see him doing it again to Diamond's sister friend. It's a pattern of behavior. And it's something to definitely be worried about. So next we have Millie and Chris. So previously we saw Chris, talking, and we saw Millie just go off after Chris, talked about how he was cool with Jody and he didn't have an issue with Jody. And Millie went off and she called him a B. Now, I don't know what's going on, but we have to stop just randomly calling men that. It's women out here. Like, some of these men, unfortunately, they're raised different and they are willing to put hands and really, go after a woman. So I really feel like it's not cool to call somebody that. Like, that's about as low as you can go. That is almost about as low as you can go when it comes to disrespecting a man, right? So for her to go at him like that, what did he do? And honestly, Millie came across very unlikable in this episode, because even when he was trying to have a civilized conversation with her, she was just like laughing, like, yeah, yeah, I did. Like, she was just so proud of it. And it was like, girl, no. Like, admit that you were wrong and apologize. But no, she couldn't do that. She stood 10 toes down, standing on business. And, he tries to have another talk with her and things get crazy. And, it got really ugly, and he called her a slut because, I guess he wanted to hit her where he thought it would hurt. Now, two wrongs don't make it right. But at that point, he tried twice to get some kind of apology from her and couldn't get one. And then we see him. I didn't like when he also said, oh, what's in your bank account? Or like, how much money do you have? And it was like, all right, come on now. Why are we out here talking about money? Don't be one of those people who, feel like because you may have more money than someone else, like you're just better than them. But okay, so he later on tells the guys like, oh, I think it's because she likes me. I think she's attracted to me and she wants me, and that's why she's acting that way. I don't think that's true. I think that Millie sees that Chris is a F-boy, like we all see. Chris very much is giving Kevin Samuels, so we're going to see that in episode 8. He's very much giving, president of the He-Man Women Haters Club, whatever it's called, man. Like, he just giving very much red pill energy. And I really think that Millie is just like tired of the BS. But again, girl, that is not your man. That is Sandia's man. That is her issue. Leave her to deal with it. Sandia does say, very calmly and nicely, like, we have to try to be respectful to each other. The name calling has to stop. But, what? Anyway, so let's see. We see that Aaron J's father is coming to the house. And we also see that Jody's friend is coming to the house. So we're going to start to see a little bit of insight. And Jody's friend comes to the house. They have a conversation. And she says to him, like, she's a man eater. So she wants to take things super slow. Aaron J says to his father, she is a sexologist. So that kind of, intimidates me. And his father's like, no, you don't have to be intimidated. Like, that's a good thing. That could be fun. Also, when Aaron J's father met Aaron H, of course, had to tell his father, I don't think that Jody's the right one for him, but you'll see. And if you caught it, Aaron J's father was like, oh, you're him. He pretty much, you could tell he knew there was an issue between, I think he was privy to what was going on in the house with Aaron H and things he said about Jody. So he pretty much said, he was going to pretty much fill her out on his own, which, he should. You take everything that people say with a grain of salt. He did meet Jody. He did seem to like her. And towards the end, you see them mention, like Aaron J mentions, like the salsa dancing thing, and they begin the salsa dance. Now, here's the thing. It could have been a really cute moment. However, we don't see any of this close and connection with Aaron J and Jody. So for us to see her, be close like that with his dad, it's a bit much. It made it odd, in my opinion. When it comes to salsa dancing, the dipping and all of that was a bit unnecessary. I'm a New York Giants fan, and Victor Cruz, he's a Puerto Rican wide receiver. And whenever he used to score a touchdown, he would salsa dance real quick. And it was cute, and it was real nice. You don't have to be doing all that extra, like y'all not auditioning for, I don't know, say The Last Dance or Footloose. Like y'all not auditioning for Juilliard or whatever. You don't have to be doing all this extra dancing, but it did come across strange for the reason that we don't see this level of connection with Jody and Aaron J. So for her to be like that with his dad, I think the dip was a bit much, but hey, we'll talk about it further. Aaron J seemed to like it. I think people, again, if we saw this level of a connection with Aaron J and Jody, it would not have been a big deal. But we don't see her let loose and show a fun side with Aaron J. So it's just like, it's just giving you the ick a little bit. So we have the therapy session between Millie and Greg. So Millie and Greg have their therapy session, and Millie finally opens up about her trauma. And apparently the therapist, she notices that Greg looked away. So she asks Greg about, what was that about? Why did you look away? And of course, he says, I have my trauma too. Now, a lot of people are not fans of Millie because Millie started to roll her eyes And I kind of understand both sides of things. So if you're telling someone about like something super serious, like your trauma where you were taken advantage of, there are people who like to one up you. So you could say something like, "Oh my gosh, like it could be something, it could be either good or bad. Like you could tell them like, "Oh my gosh, I just bought a new apartment." And they'll be like, "I just bought a house." Like, you know what I mean? Like they'll try to one up you. Or you could say, you can give some type of a bad news. Like, "Oh, I got, you know, laid off from work." They'll be like, "You got laid off?" "Oh, I got fired." I didn't get no, because, usually when people get laid off, they might have like a severance package or something, but somebody might try to like one up you and just, there are people who do that. They try to make it seem like they have a worse situation or a better situation. So, but I don't think that your partner, the person that you should be in a relationship with, would do that to you, right? But it seems as though she's just like, he's trying to steal my moment. That's a better way to put it. Like, it seems as though she felt like he was trying to steal her moment. But it was the therapist who brought it up. And I think that maybe the therapist didn't catch it. Maybe she didn't catch Millie's reaction. But she darn sure caught Greg's reaction. But before we go any further, because we'll get into the next episode with that, I did want to talk about what's going on with the other couples. So all the couples at this point, they're pretty much all booed up. When they first got in the house, they like separated the girls from the guys. Everybody was in the same room. It was like 7 beds in one room. Absolutely ridiculous. Now that they've had 4 people go home, it's more options and more rooms if the couples couple up, right? So we see Chris and Sanzia booed up in the bed, coupled up in the bed. And they're, hugging it up and they're cuddling and all that good stuff. And Aaron J is just sleeping, laying on the bed, it's just giving awkward, because I wouldn't want to be in a room by myself with a couple who is all booed up. Like, I just would not want to do it. And the guys are pretty much trying to tell him, like, you gotta you gotta break out on your own. Everybody's booed up except for you. And he doesn't really seem to get it. But so they pretty much have to tell him, like, just spend the night in the room with her. Like, it's kind of awkward. So he does that, and he also decides to step it up a notch by pushing the beds together. And it's like, okay. But apparently, while she was sleeping, he kissed her on the forehead, and that triggered her. Now, here's my thing. I'm not sure if she was trying to say that we know that she was assaulted, unfortunately, and violated. And I don't know if she was trying to say that it happened while she was supposed to be sleeping, like someone, did that to her while she was sleeping. Because then it would be more understandable, right? But the whole forehead kiss really triggered her. And here's the thing, like, if you guys have been talking for 9 or 10 months, I believe that's the length of time that Jody and Aaron J have been talking. Yes, 9 months. So, like, this is not just a random person. Again, it's normal that everyone else now, after at least 2 weeks in the house and however many months and years of talking, are now at least sleeping in the same bed or in the same room next to each other. This is normal behavior, right? So for him to push the beds, like, he's trying little by little, I think, to, get closer to her. And she's just pushing him back every single step of the way. A forehead kiss, I mean, it's not like here's the thing. If she said, oh, he was fondling me, or he had his arm around me, or, it was none of that. Like, forehead kisses are actually considered super duper romantic. So it's like, why are you taking it that way, Jody? But also, I will say this, if she actually was assaulted while she was sleeping, and that would make sense. But again, if you have not processed this trauma, Miss Sexologist, please leave people alone. If you can't sleep in the same bed or have your partner give you a forehead kiss, perhaps you are not ready to love. Shout out to Tommy. You may not be ready to love, and that's fine. But if you're not ready, you can't be pushing people away and making them feel like he did something bad when he didn't do anything bad. Even the whole date, the first date, oh, everything is just for me. You don't even like that. You don't know how to drink wine. Most people would have just thought, oh, he didn't know how to open a wine. That's funny. A lot of people don't drink wine, especially men. Everybody's not a wine drinker. It's not a big deal. But Jody finds fault in everything. And it's like, girl, do you like this person or not? Do you like this person or not? Because we can't blame this on her trauma when Millie has the same issues, but we still see Millie and Greg being close. Okay? So, I don't want to tell someone how to react, but if you feel like things are too much for you, maybe you shouldn't, you should take a step back. And that's fine. People take years off from dating and work on themselves. That's fine. But anyway, let's go into the most recent episode, episode 7. So it starts off with Millie and Greg again at the talking to the therapist, and the therapist asks Greg about his trauma, and he does admit that he was assaulted as well when he. I don't know if he didn't emphasize it when it happened when he was a child, but I believe so. And it's just very unfortunate. And again, we have in all these people, 3 people so far have admitted this, and they may not be the only ones. Everyone doesn't want to admit or talk about publicly what happened to them. And some people, they don't even really process it to really think of it as what it really is. So, yeah, I mean, it's so unfortunate that so many people in one house have this type of trauma in regards to sex and being violated. It's very unfortunate, but I'm glad that he shared his story. And it seemed like, people feel like Millie wasn't as supportive as she should have been, But the therapist said something like, oh, you guys can, connect through this. And it was like, why would they? I think, I don't like that she said that. I think that it's better to say something to the effect of maybe that you guys can have empathy and a different level of understanding with one another in regards to sex because of this. Open up more about what bothers you and what you may need from a partner, So later on we see Millie, she's like wanting to plan a birthday party, like a 90s themed birthday party for Greg, which is, really, really nice. I like to see that these couples are actually, trying to do special things for each other. I think that's super nice. Yeah, like we're going to see later on in the episode. So Chris has a friend that's going to come over to the house, and Sandy has a friend that's going to come over to the house. Now, I feel like, did we see Shay and Josh's family and friends? I don't remember if we did, but oh, how interesting this was. So, just to highlight, Chris's friend, Mr. Benz. His name was Benz. Benz come through, and Benz is pretty much Chris. How does the saying go? Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. Like, yeah. And he had to be really close friends with him, because why would you invite him on the show? And this Ben's character pretty much is, the same person we saw Chris be in episode 1, when Sandia overheard him talking to the guys about how he gets girls and how he dates multiple girls, and he will ghost them. He'll take them on a great date and then just, ghost them for a little bit. Like, crazy work. But yeah, so this Benz guy comes and he's like, "Yo, did you smash yet? What's it like?" And Chris is like trying to play it off like, I'm a good guy and we're trying to get to know each other. And he's just like, "Man, that's some BS." It is just like, sir, did somebody not give you the memo? Like, Chris, did you not have a pep talk or a prep talk with this Ben's character about, hey, this is a show about finding love with someone you met online. So, I'm going to pretend that I'm a good guy looking for love and a monogamous relationship. Okay? But no, Mr. Benz did not get the memo, and he pretty much acted as such. So we see Sandia's friend come, and her friend seemed to be Haitian as well. And her friend, tries to have a talk with her or whatever about what's going on, but it wasn't giving. So it was just weird, because Chris's friend was the wild card. And we see them get together, and pretty much Sandia's friend is like, asking questions about love and are you ready for a relationship? And Chris Benz is like, what? Ain't no love, ain't no relationship over here. Ain't no monogamy. We ain't doing that. That's unrealistic. And it's just like, bro, what? Like, it was so embarrassing. And it's like, my guy, did Chris not tell you what this show was supposed to be about? Like, what are you supposed to be doing here? Like, he's over here on some foolishness. And it's like, wow, what an embarrassment. Honestly, if I was talking to a guy and he started acting like that, I'd be gone. I forgot to talk about the game that they played when the host, Taronda, shows up, and they played the Are You on the Same Page game. So Shay and Josh did really well, not surprising. But Millie and Greg, they did the worst. Greg didn't even know her birthday. He knew the month, but not the date. And it's really, it's not cool when this woman's actually trying to plan his birthday and have a nice surprise celebration for him, and he didn't even know her birthday. Like, that sucks. But what's really crazy? Shay says, "Oh, if a man didn't know my birthday, I'd be gone." And it was like, girl, I'd rather a man not know my birthday than have a baby on me. But anyway, but I thought that Aaron J and Jody did really well, surprisingly. Like, I thought they were going to be Millie and Greg. I thought they were going to bomb it, but they did pretty well. But also with Millie and Greg, Millie pointed out that, he knows her favorite sexual position, but not her birthday. So, yeah, I mean, I feel away. I would certainly feel away because you're talking about 3 years. And you're talking about, you guys had nothing, you didn't do anything else but talk to each other and get to know each other and all this time. So how do you not know everything about each other? It's like, you guys, what were you doing for 3 years? Anyway, so we see, I don't want to get to the Shay and Josh issue just yet, but, well, we might as well. So Shay and Josh, they have a talk. No. Please forgive me. The biggest thing of the episode. Well, I guess it was two big things. So, Aaron J decides to do something special for Jody, and he wants, to create like intimacy in a way. So they do like this sexy photo shoot. She's dressed up in this, devilish gear, and it's cute. It was nice. The studio, it was given. I mean, the photographer, he had the mist and everything, but the pictures, to me, it wasn't giving. But everybody is in the model, so hey. But pretty much during the shoot, they're super duper close, and they're looking at each other, staring each other in the eyes, and then you see Aaron J tilt Jody's head up and going for a kiss. I thought it looked incredibly romantic. I don't think I've ever had anybody kiss me like that. Well, maybe, I don't remember. But I thought it was super cute, and it was super romantic and super sexy. But, Anyway, Aaron J's, he's like, yeah, I felt good. The kiss was great. It was amazing. Like, oh yeah, I'm happy. This is like their first time, I think, kissing. Well, first time that we've seen on camera, and I probably think has even happened in the entire time they've been there. And, Aaron J, he's happy. He's feeling good about it. Miss Jody, not so much. She tells us in her confessional that she felt nothing. No butterflies, no spark, no nothing. And it's just like, wow, how disappointing. Like, I actually had my hopes up. I was like, you know what? They did really good at that. Are you on the same page game? So what is going on here? And she's acting standoffish towards him afterwards. Like, he's talking about, yeah, we can do something like this more often. Like, what are y'all going to do? Set up photo shoots every month just so she can feel you can feel some kind of intimacy? Like, no. And yeah, they get back home. And of course, because they're pretty much confined to the house. So whenever they do go out, it's a big deal whenever someone goes out. And as we can see with the show, we don't really see them go out like that. So for Jody and Aaron J to go out, you have Chris and I think it was Josh. They were like, how was things? Chris, of course, Jody is his favorite. So Chris was like, how was things? Things good? Like, tell me, how did it go? And Jody was kind of just being quiet, eating her leftover pizza. I didn't like when she took pizza, put it on her plate, just touching it, and then whatever she didn't want to eat anymore, she put the uneaten slice back. And it's like, I don't like... See, that's why when you at functions and they're sharing pizza, I just hate when people be taking food and putting it back. That was not cool. Anyway, Chris is trying to get some information, like, how was it? Like, you guys to leave the house, amazing, and they are just dry as hell. And then Chris was like, are y'all tired? It's like, absolutely nobody's talking. Chris like, y'all tired? Like, yeah, they're tired. They're tired of each other. Like, no, tired? Like, it was a photo shoot. It wasn't a damn basketball game. They weren't, running laps. They were, dressed up and taking photos. Well, it was really awkward. And when Jody left the room, Chris did something that I was proud of him for the first time. Well, no, the second time. I said, you know what, Chris kept it 100. Now, we know how hard that was for him because, again, Jody is his girl. He is the captain of the Jody fan club. But he had to tell Aaron J, like, dude, this ain't it. Like, you're in here you're trying to, pretty much accommodate this lady and do nice things. And it's not giving. And Aaron J realizes, like, yeah, something's definitely off. Something's definitely wrong. And my thing is, like, what are you going to do about that, sir? What are you going to do about it? Because if Chris, again, the captain of the Jody fan club, is saying, this ain't right, and he's finally saying what the other people in the house were saying and seeing, and I think it hits different because it's coming from Chris, someone who actually really likes Jody, as opposed to someone like Aaron H, who hates Jody. So we'll see. I mean, I think that production should call Taronda in this house and have a sit-down conversation with them and, like, what is going on here? Either you guys are actually interested in each other or not. And if you're not, then deuces. Because it costs money to have them in that house. They have to pay them. They have to feed them, all that stuff. Get these people out. So let's get into Shay and Josh and Diamond and Alexis. Well, honey, I was surprised because, I'm thinking we're done with Alexis from episode 1, because I'm sure if they didn't do the flashback, I would have been like, Alexis, who is that? On some Portia Williams, who is that? Who said that? No. So I'm like, Alexis, okay, Diamond. Okay, so let me set it up. So Shay and Josh are getting ready to go into the Boom Boom Room. Let's call it a night. They pretty much had the Boom Boom Room on lock, okay? And before they go, Diamond pulls Shay to the side, like, hey, I didn't talk to you. I didn't tell you something. Remember Alexis? She's like, I've been keeping in touch with Alexis because, she's a cool person. She's my girl. Mind you, Diamond is the same person who said that she didn't get along with women. So it was like, girl, you ain't know her for nothing but 48 hours, if that. So, okay. Anyway, she's like, yeah, I've been keeping in touch with Alexis. And Alexis told me that pretty much her and Josh... did she say that? I don't know if she said that they were going to, that they actually did it, or that they could have. I believe she said that they could have done it. That Alexis and Josh could have smashed and that he wanted to. And it was just like, what? First of all, here's the thing. It's just so much to happen here because after all this time, how did this conversation even come up? And what? Because it's been like, it's definitely been at least 2 weeks. So why now is this being brought up? Or like, why now is she be saying this to you? But anyway, she said pretty much they got up they were in the room where Shay was sleeping, and they got up out of the room and they left. And Shay's like, oh my gosh, I remember that night. I remember waking up out of my sleep and both of them were gone. But you know what's crazy? Shay says she never wakes up out of her sleep. Ever. I guess like she meant in the middle of the night, of course. So for her to wake up that one time and see that they were gone, it was weird. And it's like, So then production does their big one, and they're showing us Alexis and Josh in the room, those night camera vision. At night camera vision, and they see Josh and Alexis get up and leave the room as well. And it's like, okay, why aren't there cameras in the damn hallway? Cameras in every angle. But, let me know who you believe. What do you think happened? But it's just so weird that, Shay can account for waking up in the middle of the night and them not being there. And the cameras, showing the flashback. So she goes, Diamond tells her, don't bring it up tonight or whatever. Wait till you have more evidence, something like that. Like, girl, what? So Shay immediately talks to Josh, and Josh is like, no, that's not what happened. I told you if I wanted to, I could have. But me and her were just talking, and you fell asleep, so we got up and went into the hallway so we wouldn't disturb you with our talking. And then he said, she's talking about wanting to have a threesome, and it's just like, hold on, time out, flag on the play. Here's the thing, shout out to Married at First Sight season 17. The optics of it all. What conversation could you have had? Because this was like, night one? What conversation so good were you having with someone that you just met? How the hell did it get into threesomes? Like, you should be so excited that you finally met Shay after 12, gosh darn it, years. And you shouldn't be worried about getting to know another female. Why was she... You were up all night talking to her. Like what? Like, you had to... Okay, as soon as Shay fell her butt to sleep, your behind should have went to sleep as well. Not continue to stay up in the wee hours of the morning to, quote unquote, talk to another woman to the point where you had to go talk alone in the hallway. No, that does not look good. That is how one thing leads to another. And, he should know, Mr. I had a baby by my roommate. Which to me, again, is if you had a baby by your roommate, that means you was living with your family. Do you still live with that same roommate? Like, was she your roommate or was she your girlfriend? We have questions. Anyway, so pretty much, Shay doesn't know what to believe. Josh is trying to tell her, I could have if I wanted to. How do you know? Like, what vibes? If she was giving you the vibes that you could have had sex with her, the conversation should have stopped right then and there. It should have been nothing else to talk about. It should have been nothing else. As soon as you felt like, oh, I can be intimate with this person, I need to stop talking to them. It's the wee hours of the morning. Not, okay, yeah, let's go be alone. It doesn't look good. To be quite honest, it really doesn't look good. Please comment down below. Do you think that Josh and Alexis slept together? And, let me know your thoughts on it. I really think that production needs to go ahead and get Alexis on a video call and have her confirm what happened. Either way, Josh is tripping. I mean, this was night one? And you were doing all of this? Night one? Oh my gosh. You should have been on a high from finally meeting Shay. And didn't Josh and Shay go into the bathroom after they came back from their date and take a shower and get it popping night one or day one? So you was still thinking about doing something else that night with somebody else? No, Josh. No, Josh. Wow, what a disappointment. In the words of Clint Webb from season 16 of Married at First Sight. What an unfortunate turn of events. We thought Shay and Josh was that couple, the it couple. But what an unfortunate turn of events. Y'all comment down below your thoughts. Let me know if you think that Josh actually slept with Alexis or not. Either way, it's too close to comfort. Either way, he should have known better. Either way, Shay needs to run, but she already done wasted 12 years of her life with this man, off and on, whatever. I don't think it's really going to change anything. We'll see. Chris is apparently going to put his foot in his mouth next week and say some foolishness about women can't make good decisions. Oh, boy. Y'all, comment down below your thoughts. Please like the video if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my next review. Thank you again. This is Late Night Ali Talks TV. I'm Late Night Ali, and I'm signing out. Thanks.